So this video is taking me a while to get it out, and sorry for all you guys that I told you I'd have it out a little bit sooner. What I'm going to do is the upper body warm-up that I've done to kind of combat some shoulder issues that I've had from the fall moving into the winter. In my right shoulder I started to have a little impingement syndrome going on, and then in my left shoulder I was overhead pressing and I had a little bit of a separation. It kind of slid out of joint a little bit, and I've been dealing with that kind of stuff. I'm going to preface all this by saying that I also have had a little bit of manual therapy done on each shoulder throughout the injuries, so just keep that in mind too. But I'm going to show you the soft tissue sequence that I use, the T-spine mobility, band traction, and also some other patterning stuff that I've been doing, and it's really brought my shoulders around pretty quickly within less than a month. So really excited to share with you. First thing we're going to do is start off with soft tissue work. I like to sequence soft tissue work from front to back. I think if you're really tight anteriorly and you try to loosen everything up in the back, it's not really going to go where you want it to until you have your pecs and traps and all that kind of stuff taken care of. So I'm going to teach you something that I'm going to give a shout out to Jim Smith of Diesel Strength and Conditioning, because he's the guy that actually taught me how to do this. So all you're going to do is take a lacrosse ball, softball, whatever you have. It can't be a tennis ball because it's not hard enough. And you're just going to take it and you're going to pin it right about where your pec minor would run from your humeral head down to your rib cage. So you're going to get pinned in there. Use your body weight, lean in, let it sink in, and then from here just do some movements. All right, use front raises, abduction. Okay, external rotation, internal rotation. Get in there for like 30 seconds each side. I'm not going to show you all that because that would make the video painfully long. But here, hit that, okay. Then roll into the traps. Again, you're going to feel like you might want to shrug up into the ball in the squat rack, but what you want to do is just lean in with your body weight. Okay. Try to keep your back as flat as possible. Lean in. You can even give yourself a little tug into the ball. Let your head fall towards it. Shorten the muscle. Roll a little bit. Take it away. Same thing on the other side. I like to shorten the muscle. I think it gets it to relax a little bit better rather than really stretching the crap out of it while you have it pinned. But some things work different for different people. Okay. So that's the anterior. We're starting to work posterior with soft tissue work. After that, I'm just going to foam roll my upper back. I usually use 2 lacrosse balls taped together that roll on each side of the spine, but Justin, the cameraman, so graciously broke it the other day because he got excited. So just roll the upper back, big hug, lift your hips from mid-back up to your last cervical vertebrae. You can even get some extensions in. Hold the neck neutral by putting your hands behind your head. Arch over the foam roller. Okay, so we got the soft tissue taken care of. Next thing we want to do is actually reverse the process for mobility and stability training. We're going to work back to front, because if you don't have your T-spine moving the way that you need it to, then the scapula isn't going to move the way you want it to, and it just transfers up the chain. So this is actually a drill that was given to me by Charlie Weingroff. He screened me when I was at Ramphone Training Systems a few months back for a seminar. And this is the drill that he gave me that worked best for me to create T-spine mobility. So what you're going to do, put a dowel on your shoulders, get into half kneeling, make sure that your hips are as neutral as possible, and then what you're going to do is create some torque in both legs. So torque here to give yourself some stability. It's really important to do that so you don't get a bunch of rotation in your lumbar spine. We want to avoid that. We want that to stay still. He taught me, so it transferred over to how I teach my clients to do this, is I give them a big hug around their waist first so they realize that the only place that they can move is in their thoracic spine. So here, torque, nice and tall. Everything starts with your eyes. Eyes go to the way that you're turning, then neck, then rotate that way. Make sure that you're breathing too. Don't hold your breath when you go into the tension. Good. Other side. Okay. T-spine stuff. Okay, then we're going to go in and make sure some of that soft tissue stuff holds. So we're going to do a little band traction. I don't just hold it. I actually incorporate some movement with it to get a little activation. For those of you that are familiar with soft tissue work, it's kind of like a combination of myofascial release and like Leon Chaital's, I don't know how to say his last name, the guy that has the goofy eyebrows. His muscle energy technique is kind of how I would phrase how I use it. I use a 2-inch band, make a loop, put your hand through. Now I started off, I have it low. I'm not going to give you some scientific explanation as to why. It hurt when I put it up here. I tried to do high traction, so I just didn't do it, and I just kept the band low. So, started just lateral. I like to let it get a good pull for like 15 to 20 seconds. And then from there, I'm going to actually kind of retract my shoulder blade. I'm just going to try not to let it elevate too much, because when you do that, you're going to feel like your pecs are going to start to fire too hard, your upper trap's going to fire too hard. So we're really just going to work on trying to retract it. After that first retraction, you're going to feel a little bit of release, and you're going to get a little more extensibility from your soft tissue. Just hit 5 to 8 reps right there. From there, just rotate to face it, get the traction that way. And the same thing, retractions, about 5 of them. Like I said, after that first retraction, you're gonna feel a release. It feels pretty good. And like I said, I did this to kind of self-rehab an injury. Obviously, I'm not a physical therapist or a doctor or a chiropractor or anything. So just, take that with a grain of salt. Same thing, let it relax. Try to stay tall and square. Get some retractions. I like to go with a little external rotation as I retract too, just to avoid going here, because you're not going to get that much movement, and also you're kind of reinforcing a bag pattern. Okay, same thing. Other side. Some retraction. Good. Okay. From there, I just went into the basic, trying not to trip over stuff, PNF patterns. The 2 for the shoulders. Start with internal rotation to external rotation, so just 5 reps here. Make sure you feel a stretch at each end. I'm just going to do 3. Good. And then external rotation to internal rotation. This is to ensure that those muscles are activated properly, the scap's moving the way that it should, all that good stuff. Like I said, stretch at each end, make sure the scap's moving. And that's it. So you can use this obviously if you don't have to rehab or prehab anything. Well, I guess you could be prehab. But just as a general warm-up, it works pretty well. Takes care of soft tissue, mobility, stability, activation, whatever you want to do, and it reinforces some good patterns. So try it out.